What's up, YouTube?
Hey, hi. Hi, tubes.
Hey, hi, hello.
Hi, hi, hello.
Hello.
Let's do this thing.
Shall we?
I think we shall.
Are
I
you ready for
accept.
that?
I accept
All
your
right.
challenge.
I reject your reality and I replace it with my own. Okay,
Let's
well,
go.
let's go. We are starting at 4:26 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wait a hold on one second.
Hold on, hold on, hold on,
Let me just make sure there's nothing happening on
hold
the
on, hold on, hold on.
Patreon that I'm not already aware of.
YouTube only intro. We will record a show shortly.
Oh, definitely.
Almost there.
Definitely.
Not definitely, but likely.
We will most likely record a show. It's the okay, so we have MJ Lee upgraded her pledge from $3 a month to $5 a month.
Yes. Oh, thank you, MJ.
Which is just incredibly detail oriented.
Extra buck for each of us.
That's right. One less dollar lost for each of us. Okay. Starting at 4:27 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, hello, folks, and welcome to We the Peeps. This is, what is it again? Oh, that's right. It is the American Soccer Podcast, in which you're going to get to know everything that you need to know about the USMNT, I think. Somewhat unrecognizable, but I think definitely still the USMNT. I am Clayton. I'm an artist.
I'm Ty. I'm an entrepreneur.
And we love all the Nats.
No matter what this team is, we love them. Let's go, boys. Get out there. Who are you?
We love Jackson Yule's Nats. Insert here. And insert. Folks, welcome on in to a Rasta Pod. It is a Rasta Pod time. Come on in. No, scooch in your seats. We don't bite.
I'm hugging the mic right now. If you're not on YouTube, I'm hugging you. I'm hugging your head.
In, nice and close. We are here to hang out and discuss. If you're here with us, it is likely that you are interested in the USMNT to a degree that is perhaps unreasonable and certainly uncommon.
I sure hope so.
We are so grateful to have you here because we feel the same way. And we've got a roster to discuss, which is a
technically a USMNT roster.
We'll take any excuse. We will take any excuse to abandon our otherwise productive lives and discuss the Nats. And Greggy B has given us one. So we're going to dive into all that. But first, a little bit of housekeeping. All hail. GGGG. A little bit of housekeeping. Real quick, very important to acknowledge that we are on Twitter at WTP Pod, that we are on YouTube. Just search We the Peeps on YouTube, hit the notification and subscribe button, and you'll see us streaming all of our recordings live, as well as other things, subscribe, subscribe.
Hey, just to shout out one thing about that YouTube. We are on the path to what's called monetization. We will be able to make money off of YouTube if we get 1,000 subscribers and some large number of watch hours. In both cases, we're well on our way, but we need your help. So please subscribe to the YouTube and leave the videos on in the background of your computer while you're at work. Even if you're not listening, just play them, and we get extra YouTube points for that. And when we get lots of YouTube points, we get many dozens of dollars.
Yeah. When we get YouTube points, you get YouTube points. Know what I'm saying? It's your turn now. Please do that. Help us out. The YouTube is a good time. And if you are enjoying the podcast, but you haven't dipped your toes into the YouTube world as well, you may enjoy it. Keep in mind as well that 5 stars, we are officially a centenario of iTunes reviews. So So the next goal is 1,000 iTunes. What's our next goal? How many? It just keeps going.
Just straight to 10K.
Let's get 10K. We are on a pledge drive to get to 105 iTunes reviews. So please hook us up with a 5-star review. That really helps us out. And the last thing is we are on Patreon. This show is it's sort of a money drain for us. It's not quite free to do. In fact, it's a little bit of a financial burden on both of us. However, many of you have decided to support us and help us continue to do the show by going to patreon.com/WTP pod and providing $5 per month
Patreon
to become a ratified peep.
Thank you.
That is incredibly meaningful to us. It allows us to continue having fun doing the show and to sleep a little better at night and to believe that we are still on the path to financial wellness that we believe we all deserve. I want to note that this month we had one of our patrons, one of our friends of the show, MJ Lee, upgraded
the goat upgraded their pledge per month from I forget what the name, original ratified peep, something. Yeah,
there's a special name for it.
MJ's OG. Yeah.
MJ got in there at $3 per month, which is no longer an option because we don't actually make any money when you do that. So we made it $5 a month. And she recently upgraded her pledge to $5 a month. And that is
so
what the F I'm talking about. MJ, if you were not aware that you had done this, if this was some Patreon thing that was an accident, we are here to let you know.
Just go with it.
You are now paying $5 a month, and we are incredibly grateful for it. If you were aware of that, wow, the thoughtfulness, the thoroughness, the attention to detail. We are so grateful. End of housekeeping, I think.
Sweep it up. Let's go, boys. Get out there. How many gloves do we have?
Yeah. Okay, so the glove situation is going to be a little confusing. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go ahead and read this in the order that it is listed on the USMNT website, which is which I can't quite explain. I'm not sure how this order was chosen, but okay. I'm just going to go in order. I will also tell you when we do and do not have an image of the player. I will describe. This is from the actual USMNT website today. Up first, we've got Kellen Acosta. Yes, image. There is an image. Up next, we have Jesus Ferreira, falsest 9. You know him, you love him. Yes, there is an image.
Jesus saves.
Jesus saves. That's beautiful. We have Ricardo Pepe Pew 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 Pew. Yes, there is an image. We have Christian Roldan with an image. We have Matty Two Hands Turner with a big fat smile in his image. We have Walker Zimmerman. You know him, you love him, Nashville's finest, with an image. Nice little grin. And then we have, let's get one finger of one glove to John Pulskamp, goalkeeper.
1/10 of the total glove allotment.
Come on in, I guess.
Sir. Get on in here, buddy.
No image, John Pulskamp. No image for you. We have Gabriel Slonina with another portion of the goalkeeper glove. No image. Thank you very much. We have Jorge Bello. Oh, baby. He's back. The oldest fishy of all time. The artist formerly known as Under My Umber Bello. Jorge Bello. That's George Bello with an image.
It's George Bello's testimonial match. This one.
George Bello's, yeah.
Looking back on an illustrious
George Bello's
career.
Yeah, his image is black and white. It's from the 1800s. And next up we have Justin Che.
It's an oil painting.
Gagosian. Next up we have Justin Che. No image. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Jonathan Gomez, defender, no image.
Thank
you very much. Let's go. We have Kobe Henry, defender, no image. Henry Kessler, looking great in your image, buddy. Brooks Lennon.
Ready for graduation.
Ready for graduation, no image. Aaron Long with a good fat image. We have Kevin Paredes, no image. Brian Reynolds, Italy's own, the greatest product ever out of Texas, no image. We have Austin Trusty with no image. We have Cole Bassett with no image. We have Johnny Cardoso, many times capped, a few times capped with no image. And then, of course, we have Captain Jackson Ewell. You know him, you love him. The milkiest of all toast.
Multiple images, full slideshow.
We've got his entire Hinge profile is on here. We have Taylor Booth, no image. Cade Cowell, welcome in, no image. Caden Clark, welcome in. The Cades is back, baby. No image. And then a blast from the past. Let's get a double blast from the double past. We have Jordan Morris, Giassi Zardes. Both.
I just want to note in Jordan Morris's image, he is looking off to the right, like it is a Sears Christmas card picture.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
The 1990s.
It looks like it's like a corporate stock image of professionalism.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy to have
ready for
Jordan
LinkedIn.
Morris. Ready for LinkedIn. And
oh my God, what in the world is happening here? What is this order? This makes zero sense at all.
Who are these people? What is this order? And what happened to their representation on the internet? Ty, what were your first impressions?
I didn't quite know what to expect from this roster. I think I roughly got what I anticipated, which is a mostly MLS-based group with the players who didn't really go deep into the playoffs, who haven't played recently, who stood out in MLS this year, mixed in with some overseas players from leagues where their situation is flexible enough that they're able to come play in this game. What's going on here, if you're a new US fan, or if you're a longtime US fan, you might be wondering what the hell is happening, because we never play a game in the middle of December. What's happening is that World Cup qualifying this time around, due to COVID, has been shifted around, and there's this invented window now that's at the end of January. So it's end of January, early February. That is usually where US soccer would play this traditional January camp game. So we can't have a January camp game because there is an actual competitive set of fixtures to play. We are still going to have a January camp, but they also want to play a friendly to highlight some of the MLS players who've done well this year. Hence, we're playing a friendly that's not on a FIFA date. It is just a completely random one-off occurrence. And, I don't know how valuable it's going to be, but it's definitely worth, the more games you can have, the better. The more caps you can give out, the more opportunities you can to showcase players, the better. So I welcome it. I don't have any particular critique of the roster because I have no idea the machinations of who's available or not. And it's a friendly. So, I just want to see young players be given a shot. I would really love to not see 90 minutes of Christian Roldan, but other than that, I think it's going to be all good. Whatever we get it will be valuable data, and maybe somebody impresses enough that they merit inclusion in that qualifying roster.
There you go. That's a positive attitude. We will be playing Bosnia Herzegovina on Saturday, December 8th. That is 8 p.m. Eastern. Reach out to us on a DM on Twitter if you want the Fubo account. Just kidding. Don't do that. Should be fun. Should be a fun time. I think I agree with you that the best thing should be chill. The best
thing.
It's been
so tense lately watching the Nats.
Man, has it?
I'm ready for a friendly. We were all friendlied out for the Dave Saruman era. We were sick of that shit. But at this point, I'm gonna enjoy this one. I'm gonna have a beer. I'm going to be seated on my rear during the match.
Wow.
Which I don't do.
No tiny tie?
No tiny tie. It's going to be big tie the whole time, ready to rock. And just enjoying seeing some names who we've had it kind of on the fringes of this national team program, and see who might be able to contribute in the future, especially guys like Cade Cowell and Caden Clark.
So I think that's Caden,
who might well be the future of the national team program. These are real prospects. So there's definitely something here to watch.
And Cade Cowell, who is a solid dual nat with El Tree.
Indeed.
A not secure asset is Cade Cowell.
Not secure whatsoever. Though I would say culturally, I don't know much
it's looking
about
good.
him, but it looks good. Well, I won't say it's looking good, but I would just say it would surprise me if he went for Mexico, given his background. I think he pretty much just grew up in California. I don't know if he has any like super direct ties or if he's, spent much time in Mexico or anything like that.
Right. So it would surprise. However, not bringing him to a game like this is exactly the kind of thing that leads to minds being changed. So
it's great that the program is doing this game because it gives the opportunity to throw a cap to players who aren't ready to just be thrown into World Cup qualifying, but who merit some consideration and a sign that they are able to progress within the program.
Yes. This is classic Georgi Mihailovic territory.
DJ Orgy,
who we miss dearly.
We do.
Cade Cowell, Caden Clark. Anything else you can tell the peeps? Maybe people who aren't yet familiar with these young men.
Well, one player I would love to highlight here is Brian Reynolds, who was starring this time last year, was a hot commodity. He was coming off a fantastic, pretty much like a half season for Dallas, where he broke into the starting lineup, did amazingly. And then the transfer rumors started to swirl, and he ends up going to Roma in January, one of the high profile moves of an American in that last winter's transfer window. Since getting there, he's had a rough go of it under the coach he was brought in under. He didn't do great. He was getting somewhat consistent time, but wasn't really starring. And then Jose Mourinho came in, and Jose doesn't really seem to think much of Brian Reynolds. So it's looking like a loan is likely. This is the perfect opportunity for a player like that to get some game time ahead of a potential loan. And don't forget, this is a starter quality USMNT player who has just been kind of shelved due to this club situation. But there's an alternate reality where he just stayed at Dallas and he's literally starting. Like he's ahead of like Anthony Robinson, for example, as one of the fullbacks for the national team. So look out for him. That could be a huge improvement or factor if he's able to get his career back on track and get fit, get ready, and continue to grow ahead of a potential World Cup.
Well, Brian Reynolds, welcome on back. It will be fun to see him. I'm a huge fan of Justin Che.
Yes, I was going to bring up the Che man. Tell us your report. You've seen more of him than me.
I haven't seen many minutes, but I've seen it. Watched a couple games. I probably got 120 Justin Che minutes in my eyeballs, and the hype is real, friends. He's slick. He is athletic. He's a big dude for his young age. So he's a big frame for his, for where he's at in his physical development. The thing that I love the most about Justin Che is something that I loved about Serginho Dest in the under 20 era. He has that eye of the tiger thing. Where he has an attitude. The decisions he's making are based not only on what he's capable of physically, but how much he can shame the opposition. He has a little bit of a big fat chip on his shoulder in the way that he plays. And that stands out to me more than any physical attribute is the psychology that this player seems to possess. So,
and how amazing as a US fan that at this point it's not enough to just be an 18-year-old who's starting in MLS, and that merits consideration. You have to be a good 18-year-old. You have to show something special within that group of young players who are breaking into MLS.
Right.
And that's exactly what I would be looking for as well, is mentality.
Yeah. He's also quite passy, which I like very much.
Passy is good. We need passy.
It's quite passive
for Greggy B's system, the system.
Greggy
Trademark.
Greggy B with a beautiful LinkedIn photo here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a photo ID. Another player I just want to shout out is Jonathan Gomez, who was a kind of talked about fishy in the FC Dallas system, went out on loan, I believe, I think on loan to Louisville in the USL, and has done well. And then recently made the move over to Sociedad in Spain, where he's now with the B team, hoping to make it into the A team. And I know a lot about what's going on with him because he does a fantastic podcast with Tanner Tessman and I believe his brother, other Gomez. I got to check on that. And it's called Chum Chat. And I just found their podcast, and it is really fun to listen to. So go check it out. They're quite entertaining and open about the experience of being one of these American 18-year-olds who gets plucked from home or home-ish places and gets plonked into these really different, really challenging European environments. So I'm excited to see him progress in the system, and I hope he keeps podding all the way up.
Plonk.
Plonk. But you imagine you're Tanner Tessman and you just get dropped in the middle of Venice. And he talks about like having to get a checking account. Like you can't get an apartment because you don't have a checking account.
You just have all these stacks and nowhere to put them.
Or you have like barely enough stacks.
Yeah, barely
as like a low level Serie A player to afford like a decent apartment in Venice. And so yeah, it's very interesting to think about the real life of these people and how it interacts with the sporting side. And I think it does much more than most people ever consider.
What do you think your first move would be? Get off the plane. I'm sure there's a bunch of, you got to do the physical or whatever. There's a bunch of stuff you have to do.
Yeah, you have to do the photo at the airport.
Photo at the airport.
Tweet.
Holding the
jersey. You got to tweet a few times.
There's a bunch of
you have to do keepy uppies
stuff.
Keepy uppies on the field.
Oh man, there's a what's his name went back to Barcelona. Dani Alves went back to Barcelona, and the fanfare made for his return is out of control. It's wild. The keepy uppies.
Yeah, that's just what they need is a burned out 37-year-old Dani Alves. I mean,
this is not the WTP Barcelona podcast, which is offshoot that would love to do one day, but they're doing a thing. It's not as crazy as it sounds. Okay. It's like but probably would have been better to hire him as a coach more.
Yeah. This is my argument with it. When DeMarcus Beasley was brought in to qualifying basically as a coach, is like, make him a fucking coach. Bring another player to play.
Okay, so you get off the plane, you do the physical, you do the Dani Alves keepy uppies.
You have a gelato.
You have a gelato. No, you don't have a gelato yet. You do all the agent stuff. It's all said and done. You're released. You're a
Venezia player.
You're now for the first time in Venice on your own time. Ty, what do you do?
What do I do? Dear God. I hope I thought about it beforehand. I hope I have somewhere to go.
Unlike this
I think
question.
the clubs are like a little bit better than or they're a lot better than they used to be about making sure that players have about that stuff. But that was actually, I've heard that described, that process described from the 80s and 90s when the Premier League started to bring over players really for the first time in a significant volume, and how they used to just like plonk a dude from Argentina in the middle of Birmingham, and it's like that. It's like, okay, bye, thanks, your medical's done, all good, see you tomorrow for training, bye. And they have no idea what to do. They don't know how to operate in the environment there. They don't know the language, and they were just out to sea. So I think it's a little bit better than that. But one thing that Tanner Tessman mentioned is just trying to find some buddies, just trying to make a couple friends who know the system, who've done the process. And I believe he mentioned that he talked to Brian Reynolds, who had to do the same rigmarole 6 months ago when he came over from Dallas. So I love that. I love the idea that there's this WhatsApp group of these young Yanks hanging out overseas, and they're trading tips and helping each other out in this process. That counts just as much as the soccer side, to know that there's other people you can talk to about it.
Yeah, it counts so much. That is the difference between some of the almost maybes of the past of USMNT, potentials who didn't quite make it in Europe. The difference is, now there's a community out there. There's some kind of network to connect to. And that does make all the difference. Always. Or
like if Jordan Morris today was making his big decision after Stanford,
about that,
he would have somebody to text like, dude, you can bring a dog. Like, they let you have dogs in Germany. It's fine.
Dude, you can get a different girlfriend. Just kidding.
Sorry, Jordan Morris's girlfriend.
I'm sorry, Seattle. I'm sorry, all of Seattle.
I think there is, the more of a barrier there is, the less likely people are to take a shot. So it makes it should make a big difference.
Well.
And we're seeing that it has changed. This roster represents a number of players who would have been a top prospect in a prior US pool.
True.
Like Cade Cowell and Caden Clark, who are blue chip US prospects who haven't really had a sniff at the first team.
Yep. Or even at like the hype, like Cade Cowell's hype is just not what it would have been even 2 years ago.
No. Yeah, I mean, there have been many good 18-year-olds in MLS who got thrown into the USMNT cauldron, like your Juan Agadellos, for example. Where they have a good 6 months, and then they're the future of the national team, and then it ends in tears, and
yes,
it's great that it doesn't have to be the trajectory anymore. We're completely spoiled.
Spoiled by what, Ty? What's been going on? So I've chosen to take a step back from the obsessive club soccer watching that I have been doing for the past 2 years, in order to go back to my roots as an ignorant USMNT fan who just asks Ty what's going on about everything. I do this for myself to kind of get my life on track. No, it was always on track. Don't worry about me, guys. But I do this for you as well.
There's some on Patreon.
Please help us out on Patreon. Oh my God, I'm losing it. But it happens to be this choice that was right for me to get a little breathing room from the game. Also happens to be right for the pod, because the original conception of this podcast was Clayton, new fan who knows little about the team, asks Ty questions about who these guys are. So I'm happy in this moment to go back to our roots. Ty, there's Champions League. I'm having withdrawals. There's all these. We're in a whole new world of USMNT fandom. What's been going on out there in Europa?
What's going on in general for the pool?
Yeah.
This is a fishy and shark report.
It's just a
Gnats report. Yeah, outside of these.
Give me the FARC report.
Yeah. What's that?
The FARC report. What's been going? What's up? The fishy report.
I got you. I got you.
This is the report. This roster is cool and all. We can keep coming up with more stuff.
But what's going on with the real Gnats? Yeah, let's go around the horn a little bit. So it's been kind of a rough month or so. Weston has picked up an injury. Dest came back from injury, played a little bit for Xavi, and then got benched recently. Barcelona is not doing any better under Xavi, but at least Dest hasn't been featured prominently, so he hasn't been one of the most guilty. Pulisic has been back, but not consistently. I think he got one start since he came back from the injury. And Adams and Leipzig have had their ups and downs. Jesse Marsch, our shining light in the European coaching game, got the axe for Leipzig as well. So it's been a little bit of a rough stretch. But within that, I mean, you have to consider it in relative terms. We're talking about like our players are playing for the bad Barcelona team or the bad Juventus team. It's a lot better than it used to be. So I'm not too concerned about this temporary lull. And as far as highlights, we have, by my count, 5 players in the knockout round of the Champions League. I can't remember that ever happening. I think last year it might have been 4. One of them is Zach Steffen. So, caveat there.
Man
City's Zach Steffen. But we have a level of talent like we've never seen before. We get to watch our players play regularly in the Champions League, play against each other in the Champions League. It's really amazing. And a number of these players who are in this weird December roster might be able to join them. There's no reason why Justin Che, for instance, or Christian Roldan might not be able to play in the Champions League. No, Justin Che could play in the Champions League. Brian Reynolds actually maybe has played in the Champions League, and a number of these players, your Caden Clarks and Cole Bassett, not Cole Bassett, Cade Cowell.
Yep.
Definitely are in that potential zone. So this is not going to end. There's going to be more and more of an American flavor to Champions Leagues in the future. And that's a really exciting thing. So some ups and downs, but overall, you have to be happy with how the US soccer brand is growing and our reputation abroad is improving year by year.
Well. What have we here? I'm so sorry to hear about Jesse Marsch. Good God.
I know, bummer, right?
What a bummer. What is he going to do? Is he going to play? Is he going to downgrade to a worse Red Bull team, or what's up?
I think he's out of the Red Bull system. It's Icarus. Strange.
He Icarus too close to the sun.
He did Icarus. Absolutely. Yeah. And the dude who took over Salzburg is flying high right now. So it sucks. It sucks. He was a really good fit for Salzburg, and it just didn't quite click with Leipzig. But Leipzig, I feel like they needed to be a lot more lenient with him because they sold Sabitzer, Upamecano, and I think one other big player going into this year. So it was inevitable that they were going to have a little bit of a dip. They can't just continue to push Bayern every year when they keep selling their best players.
And also Nagelsmann had set up a different system than they had ever played, and it was going so well. And Jesse Marsch came in to do the Red Bull system again, which I can only imagine if you're a player who was there for the Nagelsmann success, that's probably a frustrating experience.
Yeah, I get that. And Tyler himself has had a rough stretch of it, like the last 2 months or so, where we think of him like for the Nats, he's typically very secure on the ball. He's a calm head, but he's just been making mistakes. He's made some crucial giveaways or errors that have led to goals, notably the Champions League game against PSG. He basically gave up a goal single-handedly the second game they played. And, it's disappointing. Those are the things that he has to go through in order to learn. It does make me doubt that he's ready for that big move up to the next tier. So hopefully he's able to kind of reestablish himself as a above average player in that Leipzig system and resume his progress. But I think he clearly has the potential. He has all the skills he needs to be a top level player, but I think his mentality's gotten a little off track lately.
Yeah, isn't it strange to be saying that Tyler Adams his one blockage right now is not physical but mental?
Strangely enough. But I wonder, I mean, maybe those things connect. Like maybe there's hesitancy that he has in his body because of all the issues that he's had, or he's trying to compensate for things or adjust it. He's trying to adjust his approach so he doesn't re-injure the umpteen parts of his body that have broken in the last couple of years.
The tiny back muscles that
exactly.
That just won't, that just keep letting him down.
Yeah.
I wonder, I speculate, I project that there's, with players on his team disliking the Jesse Marsh experience, that puts Tyler in a difficult situation psychologically.
I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure about that.
That's tough. That's tough. To be loved by a coach that the players don't like it's a tough road.
Yep. You become teacher's pet.
And not for the right teacher.
Not for the right teacher. Yeah, exactly. But to Tyler Adams' credit, I don't think he's ever not become a favorite of the coach. So whoever, I'm not sure if they've made a permanent appointment yet. They got Domenico Tedesco, formerly of Schalke.
Fantastic.
Excellent. Works. That works. His style is not exactly what they're shooting for, but I think he can adapt to it.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt that Adams is going to impress Tedesco the same way that Weston McKennie did 4 years ago for Schalke.
Yeah. What is Adams putting in those margaritas, man? Every coach is like, this is just my guy. You never have to tell him to try harder. You never have to tell him to usually you don't have to tell him to focus. Yeah.
He's beating himself up before you even think of, reprimanding him.
Right.
So it sets the tone for the way that you want the group to be.
Right.
So I briefly will I just want to mention that there is a kind of anti-Adams or like a negative corner of USMNT the fan world about Tyler Adams. And I just want to say, I find that absurd because of course he's having a rough stretch of form. That happens. So many players would kill to have the chance to fuck up against PSG. Tyler Adams has to be so good to be in that very position to make that kind of mistake. Obviously, it's not good that he's making those mistakes, but he's still a young player. He is learning tremendously. He grows every single challenge that he's been faced. He's grown into that challenge and met it. And this is the U.S. captain we need for the next 10 years of this team. So give Tyler Adams a break. Give him some love on Twitter and some support instead of tearing him down because he's not exactly the vision that we have for what he can be. He will be. He will get this back on track, but he needs time. Leave Tyler alone.
Free Tyler. Hashtag free Tyler. Let's do a little. Do you know anything about Bosnia Herzegovina that we should be aware of?
I have to admit, I have not done much oppo for this one.
I think it's fine. Fine.
I will just say that Bosnia and Herzegovina tends to be a solid mid-tier European team. They're a team where the result could go either way. It's unlikely to be a blowout one way or the other. And we're probably not going to know many of their players, but I guarantee you they're going to be better than the MLS players expect. Let's just put it out.
Yeah. Jesus Ferreira will be surprised.
I think a lot of these MLS players would struggle in the, Eastern European leagues.
Yeah. Jackson Ewell
to be successful.
Not ready.
Jackson Ewell would have trouble. Yeah. I don't think Jackson Ewell's making the Bosnia 11. Let's put it that way.
I wonder about that. That's we'll find out.
I don't know. I mean, maybe that's just my bias, but I feel like there's always this sort of shock that the US players have when they play Estonia or they play Slovenia and they find out, wow, we're not beating these guys, like they're nothing. But it's like, again, similar to my point about Adams, they're nothing in a European context. But if you took Slovenia and you put them in CONCACAF, Slovenia might qualify regularly out of CONCACAF. So, the exchange rate on talent is not in our favor. Let's just put it that way.
It is not.
So I will be very surprised if this is not a tight game, and that's good. I think it'll be a good, strong test for this team to see who's able to stand out in that kind of context.
Good. I appreciate that. Let's do a little hopes and fears for this one. Hopes and fears.
I have
Ricardo Pepi,
distinct hope.
Distinct hope.
Oh yes, which is Caden.
Caden.
Get out there, Caden.
Caden and Cade. Cade and Caden.
Yeah, Caden. That's what I'm going with. I want him out there. I want 180 minutes between the two of them.
Is there a Cole, Cade, and Caden?
Cole, Cade, and Caden.
I would be into that.
I'm down for that too. And Justin Shea.
But
Caden. Those are the two players out from this group that just the names leap out. They're Twitter legends already. Twitter legends, and they finally get the chance to show in the senior USMNT context whether they can hang.
I do not have anything important to say about Brooks Lennon. He is not
the crap Cristiano Ronaldo.
He is not, for good reason. He is not a serious part of the conversation for the future of the USMNT. However,
what could have been?
I have a soft spot in my heart for the guy, and I would not mind seeing, a Brooks Lennon appearance of some kind in this game, in which he reminds us all of why we got so excited about his potential 3 years ago.
Yeah, when he was playing on youth teams with Gideon Zalalem and Mark Pelosi.
Beautiful times.
Back in the day.
What great times, guys. What great times. I want
Andrew
Brooks
Carlton.
Oh my God, yes. I want a big fat W for Brooks Lennon. Come on, guys. Can we get it going? What do you think he's like, huh? He's probably pretty cool.
On the inside?
Yeah, personality-wise.
Someday we'll find out. We'll find out. He'll join us for a live stream.
Yes, I hope. 90 minutes, Matty Two Hands Turner, show him the truth.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll fear
some Matt Turner.
I fear a little too much Jackson Ewell and Kellen Acosta in this situation.
That's my perpetual fear, is just more safety. There's no reason to play it safe in this game. Those players should be here as a mentor and as a control to compare some of the players to. So you want those two in particular, to have like 30 minutes each, or 30 and 15, or 30 and 0. It's the goal of this game.
0.
The goal of this game is not to see how Christian Roldan does.
Right.
We've seen enough. And it is not to see how Kellen Acosta does, because we have seen enough.
Right.
That's not in a critical way.
It's not at all.
I don't say that in a critical way.
Especially for Kellen Acosta.
I just say that because we have enough data. We need to get data on some of these other players. And I really hope that the coaching staff shares that mentality.
Any last thoughts here, Ty, before we let him go?
Let's go. I'm pumped. Let's
fucking go. LFG. Let's
Nats.
I like put the jerseys on. Oh, by the way, last couple things on these images. A lot of different jerseys.
The images. Yeah, what the fuck, man?
A lot of different jerseys flying around here. And
so
Ricardo Pepi looks like this was taken. His photo was taken on like a flip phone.
In like the U15s.
Yeah.
But just to be clear about what we're talking about. So on the website, the US Soccer website, they put the roster. And when they put the roster, they use images of the players. And
while you're talking about this, Ty, I'm going to look up an image of John Pulskamp just to try to fill in the blanks here. What does this man look like?
About half of the players on this roster have no image. All it takes is just to use an image from their club team website.
Right.
Or for them, the day they show up to the camp, which is imminent. Well, maybe they're going to take photos like day one and then throw them up here.
And throw them all up there.
But this looks ragtag.
But
this looks like extremely like rickety,
right?
For the national team to have players who are like so anonymous that the program itself won't even put an image of them.
It really does. And there are players here who have been photographed in USMNT jerseys.
Brian Reynolds, Johnny Cardoso.
Ridiculous.
They have like over 5 caps each. How is there no photo?
John Pulskamp is a he's sort of got like a greasy Jerry curl hair thing going on, and a very he's got some high cheekbones, very sharply defined facial hair that is short in length, but really shaped up. There's some strong lines happening. So I we don't have time today to go through descriptions of all the players that are live in photos on this, but I wanted to make sure you got at least some of the information that you deserve, that USsoccer.com is not providing. That is what John Pulskamp looks like. So
we've had a conversation recently on this type of subject when the Nats got bumped for it was not the college softball World Series. It was a college softball World Series qualifier that bumped a US national team World Cup qualifier. And there was a similar thing last night where there was a college basketball game, I think, that cut into MLS Cup on ABC. And these are some little things that we can fix. We can address this. We can get better, pictures, guys. Like good solid pictures of each of these players. Like send them a freaking shirt and have them take a picture of themselves. It's fine. Just get like, it looks so bootleg to have a national team program that doesn't even have a picture of the players. Just to underline this, one of the images I'm referencing for John Pulskamp is from the website transfermarket.com. Oh yeah, hit up Transfer Market. They've got pictures. They got everything you want. Is he currently 17 years old, this man? Jesus, he looks like 32. Yeah, he's one of those. Wow. Okay, buddy. Okay. All right, guys, tune in. Bosnia. Can't wait to see you. You got one finger of Matty Two Hands' gloves. Henry Kessler, my image from his MySpace. We'll have to do. Okay, folks. I quite like a good big fat cookie. Very delicious. Chocolate chip preferred. Oh yeah. A little chewy, a little crispy on the outside. I like me a bone broth. Why not? Hook me up with some of that. Bone broth, please, as it gets cold. And why not with a oat milk chai latte? What are you gonna say about bone broth? Say it. You're good. Okay. You're good. Oat milk chai latte. And why not with an oat milk chai latte? Yeah. But I don't love any of that stuff that you can get from a cafe in Williamsburg. As much as I absolutely love the Nats. Let's go. Nothing in Williamsburg is as good as the Nats. Unless the Nats are in Williamsburg at McCarran Park. In which case they someday, my worst. Friend. Someday. Oh my God. All right.